Hi, this is Regitze Simonsen. Are humans really herbivores or omnivores or carnivores? Some people even believe that human beings are carnivores. Well, actually we just need to look at our physiology to determine what we really are from a biological perspective. So I found some evidence that shows what we really are, because our physiology didn't change over thousands or millions of years. Humans are gatherers, meaning that we are vegans, we are herbivores, gathering plants and berries and things like that. We can run fast to catch an animal to kill it. We don't have any natural weapons to kill any animals. Before, in human evolution, before we started to have weapons and tools and stuff like that, we were purely gatherers and herbivores. There's some discussion around that during the first ice age, or the last ice age, because there wasn't too much plant food, that's when people started, or humans started to kill animals and eat that, purely for survival reasons. But then when the ice age was over, we just continued to do that. And that's what's causing so much disease in our body. That's what causes a lot of cancer, heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer, arthritis, and many other things. It's because we're eating things that our body is not meant to digest, and it makes us sick. I'll show you some proof about it. So here I have a little table. First, there's our teeth. I have some pictures here. As you can see, this is humans. Herbivores, we have flat teeth like a herbivore, and this is an omnivore, a bear. And they have also these carnivore teeth here, big corner teeth, because they also sometimes eat meat, and they also use it, for instance, some monkeys, they have it also, and they use it actually for biting into fruits and tearing that up. And here, of course, we have the herbivore or the carnivore. And that's another difference. Carnivores, they have these cutting teeth in the side. I'm sure you know how they look like. And herbivores, we have these flat molars meant for grinding. We grind our teeth, we grind plant food like herbivores. Whereas omnivores and carnivores, they both have these cutting teeth that just cuts meat. They don't really chew it, they just cut it and swallow it. Swallow little pieces. They don't grind it like herbivores and humans. So let's go back to the table. Yeah, like I said, the canines in carnivores, they are long and sharp, and we have short and blunt, just like herbivores here. The molars in carnivores and in also omnivores are sharp blades and or flattened. And we have flattened with nodular cups, just like herbivores. Then there's our colon, our intestinal system. I have another picture of that here. So carnivores, they have a very short intestinal system, and they have also a high, or actually a low pH value in their stomach. Very high acidic, very acidic stomach fluid, so they don't get sick from this sometimes half rotten meat that they eat. Whereas humans, we can't even eat fresh meat without getting sick. We have to cook it, and we can't also not chew it well. We can't chew raw meat. That's why we chop it and we cook it to make it soft and eatable for humans. And like you can see, the intestinal system of a herbivore is about 9 times the body length, and that's what human beings have also. And then there's the saliva. I'm getting to this down here. In carnivores, they have no digestive enzymes in the saliva, whereas herbivores and humans, we have a carbohydrate and digestive enzymes in our saliva. So as soon as we get carbohydrates, and that is all kinds of plants, there's no carbohydrates in meat. It starts to be digested already in our mouth, and then of course we chew it, mix it with the saliva so it gets better digested and starts to be digested, and we swallow it. It goes into our stomach where it gets further digested and into the intestinal system where it digests more and more as it goes through. And then there's of course the nails, our nails. All carnivores, they have sharp claws because they use them to catch their prey, whereas both herbivores and humans, we have flattened nails. We can't do much with our nails, as you probably know. Yeah, and then again about the intestinal system. Carnivores, they have 3 to 6 times the body length of in small intestines, whereas a herbivore has 10 to 12 times the body length small intestines. And humans have 10 to 11 times body length, so it's very similar to the herbivore again. So there's lots of evidence that shows that human beings are actually biologically herbivores. So what happens when we eat meat anyway? Yeah, we get sick, and that's why we have so much cancer, diabetes, heart disease. I found this article from the National Library of Medicine that actually says reduced risk in that's just vegetarians, not even vegans, because there's actually not that much research in that, because there's not that much money to be made by making people into vegans. There's a lot more money to be made by selling them meat and processed food, and therefore the meat, dairy, egg, fish industry is very, very powerful, and they make research that even falsely shows that their products are good for people. That's why most people think that milk is good for them, because they've been manipulated by the dairy industry that makes commercials, and they make studies that show that it is healthy for humans. But if you dive deeper into the research, it's really not healthy. It's manipulated research. So yeah, it's really awful. But this small research shows that the research links the consumption of meat, especially red and processed meat, to increased risk of several types of cancer. You can I will link this below in the description, and you can Google it yourself, and I'll also link another article that you can go through. But yeah, I invite you to go through it. But there's so much misconception and misinformation on the internet also, so it's unfortunately very hard to determine what is true and what is not true. Yeah, it's really the disgrace that it is like that, and even the governments, they they get funded by the meat, dairy, egg industry and the processed food industry, so they're afraid to come out and say that we shouldn't eat any kind of meat, dairy, and eggs. And also the meat, dairy, and egg, and especially milk and cheese, is very addictive, and it also has a lot of cultural values. Or we've been eating like this for centuries, so it's very hard to change people's habits and cultural values. And yeah, so it's very unfortunate, but if you take the time to dive deeper into it, you'll find that like I said, that we are really herbivores, and living a herbivore lifestyle is gonna make you live a lot longer and a lot healthier. And you're also going to save the planet, because all the meat production is the biggest driving force of global warming. It's creating more carbon dioxide than the transportation industry. So there's a lot of good reasons to avoid the meat, dairy, eggs industry products. And of course the ethical part. Most people don't know how badly the animals are really treated in the meat, dairy, egg industry. They're really being abused all the way from when they're born until they're finally slaughtered. Yeah, I invite you to see some of the horrible documentaries, and they are documentaries, so that is how it takes place. So if you want to eat meat, I think you should know how your food is made. That's the least you can do. But anyway, comment below. I'll be happy to help you show some evidence about what I'm saying. So yeah, comment below, and don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Please share it with your friends, and click that little notification bell if you're on YouTube. That way you get notified every time we upload a new video. Take care. Bye.